And welcome everyone who is interested in watching my tool review videos. This time we take a look at a tool range that has been at the heart of all my power tools for the last few years. And it's a reasonably mid-priced tool range, not too expensive, but not too cheap. I would always advise that with tools. Never necessarily go for the cheapest, go for the second cheapest or even towards the middle, because you're going to be disappointed by some of the longevity of a cheap tool, especially power tools. When we come to power tools, there are lots of cheap Chinese, the sort of the ones that you see on eBay, the fake Makitas as I call them. They tend to blow up rather quickly in terms of power tools, especially the impact guns. Never go for them, they just melt. And especially the ones that are advertised as brushless motors. I mean, to be fair, brushless motors was a thing about 10 years ago. Now everything seems to be brushless, so it's not really a massive big deal. But there are lots of expensive tools, which I have one of, but I won't go into detail about that. It's a future video. But a lot of these tools that I'm going to show you now are from exactly the same range. And let's have a look. Yep, and it is the Draper D20 range. Now, I've put all this out for display on this table. This is all that I have from the range. There's one of item that I don't have at the moment. They do have an angle grinder, a cordless angle grinder, which I've yet to obtain. I need more than a few batteries. So in the range, you can either start off as a kit or as single items. The first tool that I bought in a kit was this impact gun. Now, this impact gun, I'm going to show you, is probably, if you can see the speed there, okay? And that's the stock number, by the way. That's the number you need if you want one of these. But that gun is good for 250 Newton meters. And I will tell you what, it will struggle with anything very close to that. The truth is, this is good for wheel nuts and small jobs. And it has done a good job. I believe there's another YouTuber that's got one of these. I think Matt Richardson, he's got one of these. It's, as I say, he used his quite a bit in the past. He now has a bigger version. Draper have now released in the D20 range. There's a bigger version of this. This is good advertising for Draper, this is. But the truth is, I looked at a load of power tool ranges, and we've got Ryobi, Makita. There was a few that I was looking at, but this Draper have been quite decent for power tools down the years, and I think most people know what you're getting. And I actually bought this off the back of watching Matt Richardson Furious Driving, because I could see that this actually, for a decent gun to do small to medium jobs, that'll come in real handy. So on the back of watching one of his videos, I think it was a video where he's working on his on the Volvo, I bought that, and that came as a kit with a battery charger and two of these batteries. These are 2 amp hour batteries. Okay, I need to give some of these a charge. That's fully charged. Oh gosh, why is that so low? I've got to put that on charge. I'll just chuck that in the charger so I don't forget to charge it later. So I've got to charge that. I later then, and I thought, well, that's great, but now I've got these batteries. Let's not waste these batteries and get a couple more tools, because I needed some more power tools, and there was a few that I was missing. Now, I can't remember which. Yes. The next one I got was this drill. And as you can see, I'm just going to show you an overhead view. Sorry about the camera angle. I think you can tell which one has been used the most. Yeah, my drill, and you've seen this plenty of times on camera when I've used my wire brush attachments, hence why half the metal's been scraped off. This is my most used tool. I need to give all these a bit of a clean now. That's a good excuse to clean these now. So yeah, this has been my most used tool. Again, by the way, this is brushless. This is brushless as well. Not all these tools are brushless, by the way. This is not brushless. This is not brushless. Obviously, that's not, and that's not, obviously. So the only 2 tools so far that are brushless are these two. The angle grinder that I'm looking at is brushless. I think that's about 65 quid. So if anybody's from Draper watching this video, could you give me a good deal on the angle grinder? No, literally, even the sticker's worn off on this one. So we have a no load of 0 to 500 RPM, 0 to 1800. I don't know what the bloody hell that means. But there are so many torque settings on here, it's fine. I mean, you've got all these settings, your screw, your drill, and your hammer function. Right, that hammer function is bloody good, I'll tell you. That hammer function is possibly what I use to get... well, actually, I can't reveal it because that video may not have come out by the time I put this video out. But that hammer function came indeed in handy in one of my jobs. And I think the next one I bought was this. And this is my cordless tire inflator. And again, I've used this on camera a few times. In fact, I did a specific video on this. I think I did a specific video on that and that as well. But this, again, has been totally invaluable. You just set your pressure. Obviously, there's no battery connected, but you just set your pressures. PSI is what I go off. And generally, it's been amazing. It's really quick as well. And I've seen some of the bigger digital ones, and I think they're much slower than this. Again, you've got all your sort of nozzles like for footballs and all that sort of thing. So it's a multi-purpose product. And if I would say if any of these packed up, I'd buy another one. As long as Draper supply the batteries. Now, the problem is when you're looking to get into a power tool range from a DIY perspective, you're a car enthusiast, which you may well be if you're watching this video, and you want to get into doing some work on your own cars, these tools are invaluable. They make the job quicker and easier, and somewhat I can't do the jobs without some of these tools. It really is the case. If you're looking to get into a power tool range, but you're not sure what, you've got to consider... Does that manufacturer or does that reseller, because Draper is not a manufacturer, they have contracts with Chinese companies that make these tools. Because there's a couple of tools that actually I managed to get cheaper by not buying the Draper D20 equivalent, believe it or not. So basically, Draper have contracts with Chinese manufacturers over there, I believe, and they'll make them up, and they'll do the blue plastic coating and the stickers to go on. I suspect that's how it is, or maybe Draper just put their stickers on when they come over here. I'm not sure how it is. I really am, but Draper don't manufacture their own power tools. These are not made here. They're made in China, but they're made to a really good quality because so far, after 3 years, none of these tools have failed. They've all been with me about 3 years. But I will say is the one thing that kills power tools, and I know that Snap-on are really bad for this, the battery availability. Lithium-ion batteries power everything. We've gone from a bit beyond like nickel cam batteries that were just rubbish, weren't they, back in the day? And now lithium-ion batteries that, you know, don't weigh anything and they last a long time. The battery availability is the key because these tools are all useless without the batteries. So you need to make sure that manufacturer does not, or that tool range is not one of these cheap Chinese tool ranges that basically the batteries will disappear overnight and all your tools are useless. As soon as you need replacement batteries and you can't get them, your tools are useless. So you've got to replace them and go to another tool range. And I think that's dreadful fraud, and that's why you have to be nitpicky. So naturally, I'm going to promote Draper D20 in this video because I think it's a great tool range. Middle of the range, not too expensive, but not the cheapest. But they do the job and it will save you money in the long run. Makita, more expensive, but you know that what you're getting from Makita. And they've got all these tools, I suspect, but in different forms. I don't think they have something, they don't have something like this. Remember, the Draper D20 range that we see here is geared towards a few different professions. They advertise a lot of these products for electricians, for plumbers, for builders and mechanics, because you've got tools like this and this. You know, a chippy could use one of these multi-tools. You know what I mean? So it's one of these ranges that is multi-purpose, and you've got to select. I think there's about 30 different cordless power tools in their range. These are the most common ones as far as I'm aware. There's some that I don't have, like a cordless nail stapler. There's a cordless oh god, I've got one myself. It's like an air gun, an air punch, but cordless. An SDS drill. They've got a cordless SDS drill, which actually I think is quite good. But I've got a mains SDS drill. There's a few other things that they have in the range, and I think they're absolutely fantastic. There's one thing they do have in the range, and I'm just going to show you this now. Oh yes, oh boy, you've seen this vacuum before. I've done a review on it, and guess what? This is rebadged as a Draper D20 with a slightly different battery platform. Now, when I bought this Musu vacuum, I knew it was identical to the Draper D20 version, but I thought I could get away with using Draper D20 batteries in here. Turns out not. These are fake Makita batteries. This uses Makita batteries, but it hasn't got the actual pronged connections for the Draper D20 batteries. But still, it was far cheaper than Draper D20, so sometimes it pays to do a bit of research. Sorry about that, Draper. I've just, I've revealed something there. Anyway, the next one I bought was the heat gun. This heat gun has been invaluable. Now, battery heat guns, I know what people are going to say. I mean, the first manufacturer to bring out a battery heat gun was Milwaukee. And I looked at some of the reviews, and a lot of the reviews are like, look, it doesn't last very long, and they don't heat to the same temperature, which is correct. These do not last as long. They do not heat up to the same temperature. But my argument with heat guns is if you're with a mains corded heat gun, they do more damage than good. They're so hot, it's untrue. Whereas these have got a single setting, just press the trigger, hold the trigger, it goes up to 550 degrees. And on one of these batteries, it will last about 6 or 7 minutes. On a 4 amp hour, which is a battery I bought later on, about 12, 13, 14 minutes, roughly about that. Obviously, these batteries have been around for a few years, so they're not in the first flush of youth. I was surprised that that's gone down, so maybe I've got faulty battery, because I swear I charged these ages ago. But that's been an invaluable tool, heat shrinking and electrical tape, just to shrink it over new wires. I've used that so many times. It's invaluable, and it comes with a few attachments like that. Then the next one I bought, let me try and think. It was the car polisher, and this car polisher is excellent. It's got a good, nice hand grip there that you can adjust. You can adjust the angle, and this is rather good. And it goes up to 0 to 3000 RPM. There is an on and off switch, and you've also got this rotary dial here where you can just adjust the speed. I had it on a maximum setting to buff out some wet sanding polishing marks on Project Beatrix ages ago. This is a superb tool. This is superb, and this was, I think, it's not brushless, but it's about 40 quid. It's one of the cheapest ones in the range, but still, it looks fantastic. It's brilliant. Next one, multi-tool. Multi-tool. You're going to need one of these, whether it's for sanding little jobs or cutting. This tool has got me out of some real problems, and I couldn't have done without it. So again, another great tool, probably about 40 quid. I think this was 40, this was 40-ish. I think the tool alone for that, the kit was 120. This, 2 batteries and a charger, was 120, but I think alone that's about 60 quid. This 65. I think the angle grinder is about 65 as well. And the last one I'm going to come to is this light. I mean, this light has been absolutely invaluable. As you can see, it's been messy. I want to get another one of these, to be fair. These are great, these cob lights, and they can go anywhere. And it's been in some disgusting situations, hence why it's so dirty. I'm going to give that a clean. But that, guys, is the Draper D20 range. And I'll say I've had this 3 years now, and it's been utterly invaluable to how I've done my jobs on my cars. I couldn't have asked for a better set of tools. So if you're in the market for some really good tools, then go for it. I am going to be doing another video, but it's only a really shorter video on Draper tools. But I'm not affiliated with Draper in any manner whatsoever. A lot of my tools are US Pro tools, believe it or not, and US Pro tools are some of the cheapest but best tools, hand tools you can buy. But this is definitely something to keep an eye on. I will get an. I think I'm going to get the angle grinder version. So I've got a cordless one. I've got a mains one, but I need something a bit more portable. And I have got, if I get it out, this Parkside little 12-volt cutting disc, which is great. And Draper make this as well, but not in a D20 range. I think it's in their Stormforce range, which I'm going to talk to you about in another episode. But this is my tool range, and it's absolutely fantastic. Just need to get that battery charged.